now available in paperback and e-readers. Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess. The goddess next door takes on the threat of a deadly digital diva driven to destroy the world in this action-packed, all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess featuring a bonus pin-up and the other 2 books in the Cyber Goddess saga at online bookstores everywhere today. A lot of the people we interact with on social media are not real people. Now, when it comes to this social media, it can basically distort your entire perception of reality because in this virtual space, you may believe that you're talking to a real person. However, when it comes to many of these people who are supposedly online, many of these individuals are not real people at all. They are either constructs of artificial intelligence, also known as bots, or they are individuals who try to make it look like they are a large group of people by using multiple devices on sock puppet accounts. Now, one of the disadvantages of modern social media is that anyone can get an account, and since anyone can get an account, you can all wind up with a whole bunch of artificial intelligence getting a whole bunch of accounts, and that artificial intelligence basically making it look like there's a lot of people doing or watching something, and that artificial intelligence, what it can do is basically distort a person's perception of reality and make them believe that there is a lot of people saying or doing something online, when in actuality it's just something somebody made up to make it look like something is bigger in order to get a larger following of people to go watch their videos or look at their content. And the same thing goes for individuals who go out here are trolls who create sock puppet accounts, because when it comes to these individuals who create the sock puppet accounts, they will these days go to the extremes of going out here and getting multiple devices such as tablets, cell phones, and laptops to make it look like there's a lot of people looking at certain content, when in actuality it's just one person looking at all of this content and basically looking like they want to go out here and make it look like there's this large group of people who are looking to say that they don't like something, when in actuality it's just this one person who has all these sock puppet accounts, and they use these sock puppet accounts to go out here and artificially make it look like there's a large group going after someone and make it look like there's someone who they want to again push off the platform. Now, this tactic of creating sock puppet accounts is something that many trolls use as a ploy to try to scare certain people on social media, and it was a major weapon that was used during the era of cancel culture to make it look like there was people in what they called a Twitter mob, a mob of individuals who would go on a thread and make it look like they were looking to cancel someone and look to influence the behavior of a company regarding a certain celebrity, a certain person who is out here, who is on social media. They want to make it look like this person is really bad and that people need to get away from that person. But these cancel culture mobs are not real people. No, in many cases, they were just one or two individuals with a whole dozen sock puppet accounts tied to different laptops, cell phones, and tablets, and they do that to make it look like there's a lot of people to things like websites like Twitter and social media companies like Facebook and Instagram to go out here and make it look like there's a whole lot of people because they have multiple devices. And since these multiple devices have multiple IP addresses, you would think that this is a whole lot of people, but in actuality, it's just one person working multiple devices in a room, to make it look like there are a whole lot of people, when in actuality, it's maybe 2 or 3 people in a room overall. And this is not only done here in America, it's also done by people in foreign countries. It's also done in a lot of foreign countries where you have again, people with multiple sock puppet accounts looking to, again, make it look like they're a group when they're just a handful of people. And they'll do this, again, to go out to troll certain channels, or on YouTube, troll some people on social media and harass them. And while that person will try to block one person, they will just go to another account, on one of their multiple devices. And again, you're not interacting with a real person, you're interacting with a bunch of people who are just creating an artificial environment to make it look like there are a lot of people when it's just maybe one or two people. Now, in addition to people using these sock puppet accounts, you also have a lot of bots out here. Now, bots are this artificial intelligence that will basically go out here and sub to different channels or send out friend requests. This artificial intelligence will go out here and send out these friend requests. Again, this is something that these bots do. And again, these bots are basically something that many companies use, again, to basically bluster numbers, to make it look like there's a lot of people out there online. They use the bot to go out here and basically go out here and present like it's a person, when in actuality it's just artificial intelligence. And you could be sitting there talking to this person in your comment section thinking it's a person, when in actuality this is a bot. This is a bot that is just put there to just basically make it look like there's people, and in order to, again, one, try to draw other people in to make you think something is popular. But the whole thing is you're just buying into some hype that is made up with these bots that are used to drive algorithms, because what they use the bot to do is drive the algorithms and make it look like there's people, when in actuality there's no people at all. And you're not talking to a person, you're talking to a robot online, and you're thinking it's a person. So these internet companies, and they have all of these different tactics, again, that are made to make you think you're in a reality of a large group of people having the same opinion. But the whole thing is you're being manipulated either by the sock puppet individuals, who are usually bought and paid for individuals, or you're dealing with the bots that people have bought. And this is something some YouTubers and other people have used in the past to exaggerate their numbers. What some YouTubers will do is go out here and buy subscriptions and buy clicks and views. And that what these companies do is go out here and get the bots, have the bots go out here and drive things, or get the people with the sock puppet accounts to drive things. You'll think that the channel is moving as related to its numbers, and this combined with the algorithm make you think that this channel is one on the move. But what you're seeing is a distorted picture of reality. And what happens to a lot of folks in cyberspace is that they get caught up in this virtual reality, and as they get plugged into this matrix of this virtual reality, what they do is see a picture that's completely distorted. And for some people who buy into this whole hype, and even some of the content creators who create this hype, they start to believe their own hype as related to this distorted reality. They start to buy into this distorted reality and start to believe it to be true. And this is what can happen in cyberspace if you really are not critically thinking. If you're not really critically thinking, you'll sit there and get caught up in this mess and get caught up in this AI and these individuals who are just, again, sock puppets, people who are just, again, paid to push an agenda, or paid because they were put out here because they don't like certain content. Some people don't like certain content. Some people don't like certain YouTubers on the platform or other social media. So these people go to extreme lengths, such as, again, creating these sock puppet accounts to stalk and harass content creators, or go out here and go out here and pay for artificial intelligence. This is all campaigns that are used to, again, go after YouTubers and other people on social media. And you can't get into the hype because a lot of this stuff isn't real. A lot of this stuff isn't real. It's a virtual reality. And again, this virtual reality can basically destroy your perceptions of reality and make you feel like something is wrong with you, make you believe that there's something wrong with you or some issue with you because this is not a real person. And again, you won't know it's not a real person until you go into their background. It's not until you go into their background and look at things as related to their profile on places like Facebook and Instagram, you start seeing, oh, this person has no content whatsoever on their platform. Or you go to YouTube and you see no videos, no subscribers, or in some cases they'll post some videos of video games or some other stuff, but it won't be any content made by a real person. It'll be artificial stuff, and sometimes it'll all be completely fake. And again, they used all of these bots to go after certain people, make you believe that this is the reality, but it's not a reality at all. It's a delusion somebody is living in. And what they want you to do is buy into their delusion, that they are real, but they're not real at all. And it's just extremely unethical to me for all of these people to go out here and do this stuff. Now, I know that people have done buying the subscribers for years, but I haven't seen things escalate to the point where people now are using this AI to go out here and, again, go after YouTubers and other content creators. I mean, this basically shows me how just twisted things have become. Now, I talk in depth about how a lot of people get caught up in these artificial realities in my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace. And things are getting progressively worse as related to this, because what I talked about in Stop Simping in Cyberspace is about how some people basically their whole idea of reality gets distorted, and what I see are willful and intentional plans to again go out to distort reality. And again, I really don't think it's good for people to be in cyberspace looking to distort reality, because if you distort reality and people's perception of reality, what you get is insanity. And when you get insanity, you basically get a person living in their own world with their own logic, not living in the real world. And the whole thing is that if you deal with people with the sock puppet accounts and the bots, they can have you living in and becoming insane, believing things that aren't true. And if you start to believe things that aren't true, again, you're becoming insane. And that's the whole thing that's really dangerous about the internet these days, is that the lines are so blurred. There's no boundaries like the internet of the early 2000s. Now, in the early 2000s, there was a clear line between virtual reality and real reality, and people understood that the internet wasn't real and to take everything with a grain of salt. But these days, we have people who just don't really understand those lines, because we had an entire generation raised with the internet. And because they're raised with the internet, they don't understand you need to take the internet with a grain of salt. And they're buying into these realities where you have things like cyberbullying going on. And then you have kids thinking, oh, these are real people on Facebook or Instagram, on all these different social media sites. But they're really being bullied by a bunch of bots. They're really being bullied by maybe 2 or 3 people with sock puppet accounts. And that's why you have to take the internet with a grain of salt. And this is one of the issues I have with YouTube, in that they took away the block button. They took away the block button to keep people like these bots and these trolls and these other troublemakers off our channels. And this allows the continuation of harassment and cyberbullying by artificial and actual ignorant people who again keep going after channels they don't like, people continuing to watch channels they don't like, hoping they can push the person off social media and hope to get some sort of power, because they can't stand what they're hearing. And that's the main reason why, again, they create this artificial bots or sock puppet accounts, because they can't stand hearing real people with real different views. They don't want certain people to broadcast themselves or talk about their interests. And what they want to do is get control by looking to make these fake accounts and all of this fake stuff. And again, it's gotten so out of control that I look at it as, again, it shows how insane people are becoming. Insane that they can't live in a world of real people with different thoughts and ideas. can't live in a real world of real people with different thoughts and opinions. And it's really troubling that we live in a world where people are looking to make their virtual reality into reality. And that just shows how much insanity has transpired in social media and how social media has become extremely antisocial over the last few years, has become, especially after the pandemic, extremely antisocial, because instead of us getting a world where people are coming together, we're seeing people fall completely apart. And we're seeing people fall completely apart because people just cannot stand living in a reality where people disagree with them. And since they can't live in a reality where people disagree with them, they become disagreeable to the point of becoming toxic, where they look to distort reality. And that just shows me that how the internet is not being a place of an information superhighway. It's turning into a highway of chaos, basically where toxic people have taken over the tranquility of the internet. Again, a place for information and ideas that was back in the 2000s, now in the 2020s, turning into a cesspool that's filled with a lot of toxic people who are losing more and more of their connection to reality because they can't stand hearing from real people all over the world. Now, if you want to learn more about how the internet has changed and how it's becoming a place that's filled with a lot of toxic predators, and how to identify those toxic predators online, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find Stop Simping in Cyberspace at other online booksellers like Draft Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you'd like to see me make more videos talking about the internet and social media, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle, Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Learn how to avoid predatory females like Instagram models and e-girls in their virtual con games with Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Get your copy of Stop Simping in Cyberspace in paperback and Kindle today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.